Hi everyone, it's Bren here and welcome to this week's garden update. You may notice that it's quite wet here at the moment. It's been pouring down for most of the day. However, I did manage to come out here this morning when it was a little bit drier to record this week's video. So we're going to go and take a look at that now. It's going to include a garden harvest plus a purchase I made this week, and yes, we finally got out of isolation and I visited, I think it was about 3 garden centres, and I picked up a whole bunch of spring bulbs which I cannot wait to show you. I've managed to catch a little break from the rain. I don't think it's going to be very long lived because, as you can see, we have some very grey skies. So hopefully I will get a bit of time to show you around before the downpour comes again. As we take a look around the garden today, I will be doing a bit of harvesting because there is quite a lot of food in amongst all of this greenery that needs to be picked, like these couple of Lebanese cucumbers. I should have really taken them off the plant a few days ago because they are quite large. Ideally they should be picked when they are about 6 inches in length. If you leave them on the plant, they do continue to increase in size from all of that water absorption. I just snapped it in half to show you what the inside looks like. The other thing that happens too is the seeds become larger and a lot more firm, so they aren't as pleasant to eat when they are like that. So I usually try and scoop them out before I eat the cucumber. Now, if you're looking to save Lebanese cucumber seeds, this is what you want to happen. You leave one of your cucumbers on the plant, allowing it to grow really large. What I do is I wait until the entire cucumber that's still attached to the vine starts to turn yellow. And for me, that's a good indication that the seeds inside have matured and are ready for saving. Back in spring, when I was sowing all my seeds for summertime, this here was one that I was really excited about, and I've managed to grow 4 plants that are looking pretty decent. So this is from a mixed seed pack called Rebecca Sahara, and I am absolutely in love with them. They started to bloom, I think it might have been just after I finished recording last week's video. So I've got this one here, and then there's this one which fell over from all the rain we've received. It always happens whenever you get a downpour of rain. You can see here with these marigolds, the branches have all drooped over, and it's happened with this one. So yeah, they're both different, which I'm pleased with, because oftentimes when I grow a mixed seed pack, I tend to be a little bit unlucky and get a lot of the flowers that are the same. So to have 2 that are different is great. And look how gorgeous that black center is. Oh, I'm going to actually see if I can overwinter these plants, because I have read that they are actually a perennial in certain climates. And I'm thinking if I dig them up and put them somewhere in a little area that stays warm during winter, frost-free, I may be able to get these to grow again next year. And beside them, I have this lovely little zinnia. It's called Aztec. I had mentioned them again back in spring. I was planning on growing a whole row of these, but I only ended up getting 1 plant that grew to maturity. It's always the way. Plans change, but I'm so pleased that I managed to get one to this size. Snowflake got a little bit wet, didn't you? Never interested. Hey Autumn, what are you up to? Oh, thank you for telling me that, even though I don't understand. I hope you have a nice day anyway. I feel like I've neglected this Casper eggplant a little bit, because one of the cucamelon vines, you can see them all here. There we go, there's one in there, have started to wrap around the branches and foliage. Look at this here, taking over the place. And there's also quite a lot of eggplants that I really need to pick off. Like if we take a look in here, there's actually one right in the back I'll see if I can pull it off, that I let get a bit too big. Look at the size of that one. That one's probably slightly over. And how you can tell with eggplants when they're ready, if you just give them a press on their flesh, and if you feel it bouncing back, that's a good indication that they are ready to harvest. But I know from this particular variety, they should be picked about half this size. So this one may be best just chopped up and added into like a ratatouille or something, because just sliced open and grilled, it may be a little bit too bitter to be eaten straight up like that. It looks like the girls are grooming themselves, hanging out here in the cut flower garden. It's so full up now compared to what it looked like back in springtime. So what we're doing now is we're looking down towards the chicken coop, which is just beyond all of these raised beds which I put in a few months ago. And my, how this area has changed. I just had to come under the shelter because it is starting to pour down. But you know what? I was thinking, how about I show you now a garden harvest that I did during the week when the weather was a bit more accommodating. Come join me on a garden harvest in my backyard food pantry. Let's start off in this bed where I have some crookneck squash. I've got a random two that are fused together. There's lots of rhubarb. The foliage is looking awful, but not to worry because we don't consume that part. We eat the stems. Down here in the cut flower garden, the cucamelons are coming in thick and fast, as are these little tomatoes. Once these two get started, there's just no stopping them. I'm going to be making a salad with them, so I want to grab a couple of these spring onions, lemon cucumbers, king purple beans, and a bunch of these yellow banana peppers, which are already starting to ripen on the plant to red. I just need to grab two more things. Today I think we will go with, even though I'm drawn to the purple, I'm thinking we'll go to the lemon basil. It has started to go to flower, but I think it still tastes delicious. Speaking of flowers, I just picked this pretty bunch of dahlias to add to today's bounty. Those flowers are still going strong in the kitchen, and as you can see, so is the rain. But you know what? I've got something exciting to show you that we can take a look at undercover. At Christmas time, I was given a gift voucher for Bunnings, which is like a big box store similar to Woodies in Ireland, or I believe Lowe's in the US. And I popped in there during the week because now we are out of isolation, have a bit more freedom, and of course I headed straight to a few garden centres, including this one. And I saw on a table that they had all of these spring bulbs reduced on clearance, and I wasn't very sensible, I guess you would say, because I could have spent the voucher on other more important things like, say, mulch, sugarcane mulch or stakes, but I ended up buying all of these bulbs, and boy oh boy am I excited. So I'm not sure of the original price, but the discount seems pretty reasonable when you consider that each pack has approximately 50 bulbs in it. I got these ones here, which are a mixed daffodil pack. You see all those beautiful flowers there. Oh, I'm so excited. These jonquils, which I adore the scent of these. I know they just look, some people would say plain, that they're just pure kind of like a creamy white colour, but the smell is divine. And then I've got some classic daffodils, and one of my favourites, these Dutch irises. The great thing about all of these bulbs is that you can put them into pots or you can put them straight in the ground, so they're quite versatile. I'm sure what I'm going to do with them all yet. I might mix them up a bit, pots, ground, even just mixing them up in containers too, like having a few of these jonquils with daffodils. And the Dutch irises. I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to see all of these in bloom. Well, we've come to the end of this week's garden update. I better head inside before I get absolutely saturated, and probably should go check on the girls too, make sure they're okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week ahead and happy gardening.